Hello again, traders. Right, I couldn't resist making a video about this observation about on Swissy, US dollar, Swiss franc. If any of you follow my Twitter feed, then you'll notice or you'll know that I talked about these big weekly candles, and this was a big weekly 3 candle reversal, 3CR. We talked about trading short. Dollar CAD was the same. In fact, I haven't looked at CAD, so I'll look at that quickly now. Let's see what happened. Yeah, same thing. Forget these lines on there. In fact, we'll delete those. That's a part of the MT4 template that they've been on there ages. So similar thing, big weekly candle, which is a trading strategy that if you follow me you'll know about. Then the reversal, which is a part of the 3 candle reversal 3CR situation, clues in the name. The reversal actually suggests that we should be going long, but it does suggest also that we have this ranging period. Old resistance broken becomes tested as support, which is basically the algorithms building their positions for the longs. So I hadn't intended to talk about CAD, but we might as well put a new level on there. As you can see, it battled around this line here, there to very much as close as you could possibly get. Once we get a weekly close through here, then we could potentially, I'm talking about this level now, potentially have another pullback and then potentially have another continuation. And the obvious area for a CAD continuation would be there, so this would be an interesting level to look at later on. And as you can see, once again, then we've got a interesting level there, old support potentially acting as new resistance when we get over here. And I've talked about this in many of the older videos. You get these areas that get tested, and being a weekly level, this area between the two is pretty large. So we go back to Swissy, US dollar Swiss, and talk about that level there. So the weekly potentially will get closed through, talking about there with this weekly candle here. And what I always try to remind myself, and obviously traders that I'm talking about this method with is think of this as a 15-minute or a 5-minute chart or something. I mean, it's really that straightforward. You just have to remember you get these massive these, like we said on the CAD there just now, we have a whole 3 candles worth of movement, 3 weeks worth of movement before it continues in the direction. But that's useful to us as traders because it gives us the it gives us time to look on the lower time frames to trade it down, up and sideways, as I often like to say. So old levels from weeks and months ago will often get tested and retested, and it is worth noting at this point, if we break through old support, it fails to hold as resistance, then we can potentially, using the lower time frames and the 3 candle reversals and the break of the 89 EMA and so on and so forth, use it to trade it up to the higher level. So I had to make this video. I didn't intend it, totally off the cuff, but I often like to look back at old weekly charts, especially ones that are a 3 candle reversal, which we know is a reversal from this downtrend to an up move. How we got the move down and we get the move up as well. The RSI histo confirms that. And what is also worth mentioning, if you are a complete novice trader, is that when dollar Swiss moves one way, then euro and dollar has traditionally, for as long as I can remember, which is getting on for 2 decades now, moved in the opposite direction. Call it the antithesis or whatever, and lo and behold, I did check this one before I started making the video. You've got the same situation but in reverse. A little H, as Paul would say. You know, need the weekly close down, or have we had that already? In fact, we had that already with the previous week. As you can see, the slight break there. So this was a perfect suggestion to go short. You know, big weekly candle, watch for the pullback, watch for the continuation, and you know, 3 candle reversal as well at the same time, although the reversal candle was this one here, in fact. So you know, we had a pullback, which is the wick, and then boom, down it went. So it would stand to reason that this is the next level, and then we could in fact look at the monthly, see what's happened. We're in new month now. You could draw the level there. If the monthly candle breaks that level but doesn't test that level, it's important that it doesn't test it. If it tests it, then it's likely to be all over, as it were. So got a monthly level down there. There is a potential for this euro to keep going down to test that level. So let's have a look at the candles. Yep, what have we got going on? So back to the weekly. That weekly level needs to be closed through by that weekly candle, and then we could expect a pullback, and then we could expect a continuation down to that level there. If it just produces a wick through that and tests that 89 EMA, in other words, say whole a week or two, you know, I don't expect this to crash down to that level for any reason. I haven't analysed the lower charts, but the lower time frame charts, as it were. But you know, let's have a look. What have we got? We are Wednesday today. So you'd have to go down to the daily and check the daily, check the H4 and so on and so forth, to see whether we'd get down to that level and when we're expected to. But that's the whole idea of time frame, the relationships between the time frames. So we might as well analyse this while we're here. We've got an engulfing and outside bar, 3 candle reversal through all of that stuff there. Yeah, this looks like it's just going to crash, to be honest with you. You've got RSI minus 39.115. Yep, RSI trigger 2, that's lower. Double check it, triple check it. 40, minus 40. So that was the trigger bar, as it were, on the RSI, and this is the continuation. So yeah, everything points to it continuing down. Let's have a look at the H4. The daily's already triggered short, of course. So H4, 3CR down, big candle, RSI histo, break, bust, pull back, break and close. As you know, any sort of break and close will potentially cause a pullback. Same with the 3CR. This is, in my opinion, the pullback. You can clearly see what it's testing. We could look on the line chart too. That level there, close below, come back to test it. Always important to remember, nothing moves in a straight line, so don't get overexcited about potentially hitting that short. You have to follow the rules on the M30, M1. This would have currently be out of alignment, I imagine, on M1, on H1 rather. I meant M30, H1 actually. Yeah, we're totally out of kilter now with H1, but in fact the candles will be suggesting a 3CR up, which is what that dotted line is. 3CR up into massive support and resistance, which would suggest and also remember, a 3 candle reversal up means we should get a pullback down, but this won't be a pullback down, this should be a continuation down. So I'm not here to suggest trades. I'm just here to suggest how you trade. I mean, this is euro dollar, I never trade anyway. This is totally off the cuff analysis based on, you know, the monthly, weekly, daily and so on and so forth, but you have to follow the lower time frames down to M1, but this is what I do when I do this longer term analysis. So quite frankly, you know, if you know what I do on here and you follow what I do, then you'll understand that I am a scalper, not a long-term trader, but this method lends itself to long-term trading as well. So let's have a look at H4 again, and this is why I don't do more of this, because I'm not here to actually call long-term trades, but I am here to remind you that the method works on every time frame, and bearing in mind this was a monthly, a weekly sort of scenario. So the reason I'm drawing these is this is a trend that down, but always remember, and this is really important, you know, when you're drawing these trend lines, never forget that if you're considering entering here, never forget that the trend will likely, this was the sort of ABC scenario on an Elliott wave picture. I think I might have even mentioned something similar to Euro USD with this exact situation. You know, Elliott wave uses the 5 swings, then an ABC, then the continuation, and that was the ABC, which is important because you've only got the A here, and you haven't really taken into account the B and the C. So sorry, I've rambled on a little bit. I didn't intend to. It was only just an observation on that Swissy I wanted to talk about, US dollar Swiss franc. But that to me looks like this sort of scenario here, based on 3CR situations, of course. Big gap there as well, look at that. So I would not want to go long. Everyone has their eyes on euro. They don't often talk about the Swissy being the antithesis or the other way round, but we can clearly see that is what Raja of Wicks Don't Lie would talk about, a lovely clean area to fill to the upside. So anyway, just thinking out loud on those, I hope this has had some sort of value to you. I'm not here to talk about long-term trading, just here to talk about how charts look the same and work the same on every time frame. You can look at a monthly chart just as you would a M5, M15 chart, and always remember that that first trend line drawn like that, because that high has been broken by price there, often gets broken to create a second trend line, and then off we go again, which is, I suppose, where they come, these people draw their fans and their all their Gartley patterns and all those sort of things. I have no idea about any of that, never traded it. Tram lines is another one, but there is a reason they're part of your toolbox, as it were, on all of these different trading platforms, because people have absolutely spent thousands upon thousands of hours creating these things, because they understand price action works in such a repetitive way, and the sooner you embrace that, in my opinion, the better a trader you will be. Fundamentals are of little value when it comes to trading, in my opinion. I've argued this for decades now, or a decade plus, and the charts don't lie. That fabulous saying, charts don't lie. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Oh, and one last thing, never forget, you look at a chart, I've talked about this many times in this small video, or this little video, never forget you can look at a monthly chart and treat it in the same way you would a 5-minute chart. That's really, really important in my opinion, and you don't hear that enough.